All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. And we are bumping along to our next position in our positional big board series. And now we are on to the edge rushers, which for our purposes are also linebackers. So now we're doing outside linebackers. But for the purposes of being more universal for any fan of any team, I call them edge rushers because 4-3-3-4, that's their role. So edge rushers are up and it's a pretty good one. I know it doesn't have a generational stud. It doesn't even really have like a Will Anderson level prospect, but I do think that there is some appealing stuff here as well, and it's deep, and there's a lot of stuff near the top. It doesn't have like the top end, but it's good with this edge crop. All right. So before we get into our edge room, I just want to remind everybody my full big board is still available on my Patreon and for my YouTube Ring of Honor members in the community tab. So if you become a Ring of Honor level member or a bonus content tier Patreon pledger on the Patreon, you will be able to see that ranked 1 through 287. Okay. Edge rushers. Number 1 is Dallas Turner. I think he's clearly the best in this class. Has extremely high potential and a high floor as well. Jared Verse is my number 2. I cool off on him a little bit compared to Turner, but he is good. And I think that he'll offer some really impressive all-around abilities. Maybe he'll be even more balanced than Turner. He just doesn't have the upside at all, I don't think. Chop Robinson would be my number 3. I know there's some scary bust potential with him for sure, but I'm optimistic on him. I'm a buyer on Chop. I think Chop will be good. Latu of UCLA would be my number 4. Couldn't really embrace him, but he's good. He's definitely good. We can at least acknowledge that. So Latu would be kind of rounding out this 4 horsemen situation for me. To me, these are all the first round guys. These are guys who I think would go in the first in a sane draft scenario. They're good. And there's other than Chop, who does have bust potential, I don't think there's a lot of bust potential with these guys. Okay. Bumping down to the 5th guy, Darius Robinson. Really weird player to me. I like him a lot, but I don't know if he'll be able to do edge rusher stuff in the NFL because he's so much bigger. He's got like 35 pounds. He weighs almost 40 pounds more than Dallas Turner, I think. So does he play on the defensive line? I don't know. I say draft him and figure it out because he's really good. He'll probably be able to do a little bit of both, which is great. But definitely understand what you're getting into with Robinson. You're not getting some superstar athlete here. Chris Braswell would be next for me. I really like Braswell. Really impressed with his all-around game. He doesn't have all the upper-level traits of Dallas Turner, but I think he's going to be a really good all-around, every-down player for whoever drafts him. So I do put Chris Braswell at 6. Then I go at 7, Marshawn Kneeland. He's a guy who I got into the more I looked into him. I don't think that he will necessarily be able to be a full-time edge in the NFL. He might be another guy like Robinson who goes back and forth between edge and the line. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's certainly nothing wrong with that at all. That's kind of what Draymond does. I mean, Draymond doesn't do it great, but when Draymond was in Denver, that was a big part of what he brought to the table. He would be able to go back and forth between the edge and the defensive line, and it worked well. So that stuff can be valuable. My number 8 would be Jonah Ellis of Utah. Really got into him. Really excited for the strides he's probably going to make over the next couple of years. Number 9 is Braylon Trice. Definitely got to be down on this guy after his really disappointing testing and after his how should I put this? Good season in 2023. He just took like half the year to get warmed up. So Braylon Trice definitely down on him. I still think he's a top 100 guy, but not by much. Gabriel Murphy of UCLA is kind of my sleeper. I know a lot of people don't get this one. I know it's kind of weird. I know that his body type is not a body type you typically see succeeding on the edge. But I really like his bag of tricks, and I really like his all-around skill set. I like his traits. So he would be a guy that I would be willing to take a chance on. Devon Solomon of Troy, my number 11. He follows in the footsteps of some great NFL pass rushers from Troy. So I don't like him as much as those guys, but I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a really nice player in the NFL Good all-around edge player. Adisa Isaac of Penn State was a guy I couldn't really get into that much. I know that most of the big boards have him a lot higher than this, but I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with his pass rusher traits, and I think there are some real holes here that I don't know if they're going to be filled. Jalix Hunt of Houston Christian, small school guy, all the talent in the world, like otherworldly talent, but he didn't quite put it all together, mostly because he just moved to the position in a what was it, 2 years ago? I think he's been playing on the edge. He was a safety. He was, I think, a receiver. He was doing all kinds of different stuff there. And now he's bumping over to edge because his body type can support it. And I'm high on him. I think he's got a real chance to figure this out, but he's got to actually do it. So I understand that he can't really be a top 100 pick when we don't even know if he's going to be competent. Austin Booker of Kansas is my number 14 guy. And then we go Brennan Jackson of Washington State. Kind of two opposite players. Booker's undersized, Jackson's oversized. But I think both guys bring interesting things to the table. Mohamed Kamara of Colorado would be my next guy. Kind of a fun, interesting player. Brandon Dorless, I know he's not really an edge player, but I did throw him in here, of Oregon, is my number 17. So to me, he's like a fourth round guy. I just don't know what he ends up doing. I put him in with the edges, but realistically, I think he needs to build some strength and play on the line full time. Cedric Johnson of Ole Miss, number 18. Interesting potential, unlikely to reach it for assorted reasons. Eric Watts of UConn, big dude, really uniquely built guy, but he doesn't put good tape on the field on. Nelson Caesar of Houston, just kind of a decent depth pick. Don't see a lot of upside there, but I think he's NFL worthy. I think he's at least backup worthy. Jalen Harrell of Michigan, just part of that really deep Michigan rotation. Not anybody who I'm drooling over this year. Michigan doesn't have that drool over pass rusher this year to me, but he's all right. He'll be an okay edge rusher off the bench. Miles Cole of Texas Tech, potential, but I seriously doubt he gets all the way there in the NFL. Xavier Thomas of Clemson should be decent depth as a 6th or 7th round pick out of Clemson. ZTF, another 6th or 7th round pick to me. Washington guy who's just been regressing slowly ever since he tore his Achilles. Probably never going to get back to it, but still worth a pick. Braden McGregor of Michigan, the other Michigan edge rusher. He's belongs in this league, but I don't think there's a lot of upside there. I think he's just going to be a guy. We got Grayson Murphy of UCLA, the other UCLA pass rusher. Him couldn't really get too excited on. 7th rounder at best. Solomon Byrd of USC, really good at forcing fumbles, but otherwise unremarkable. Javonte Jean Baptiste of Notre Dame, couldn't get warmed up on him at all. I know some people have him higher than this. Hawks Nest likes him a lot. I couldn't see it. And final guy, number 29, Trajan Jeffcoat of Arkansas, the Razorbacks, rounds out our list here. So, yeah, almost 30 edge rushers evaluated in this class. I know one of them probably won't be an edge rusher, but I threw him here anyway. Let me know what you think of this crop. Let me know what you think of this collection of players. Let me know if anything stands out to you as being off. Let me know if you think I missed anybody who's worth evaluating. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Thank you for watching. And tomorrow we're going to be wrapping up this series. So stay tuned, and we will be ready to go for the 2024 NFL Draft.